Have you ever been afraid of something big and unknown even when everyone else says it's beautiful? Have you ever thought that just because something is big, it has to be scary? On the edge of the Whispering Woods lived a tiny field mouse named Squeak. His world was small and safe. A cozy burrow in the soft earth, a path through the tall meadow grass, and a view of the forest that was all dark shadows and tangled branches. He'd hear the forest animals talk about their homes, but Squeak just huddled in his burrow, convinced it was a place full of monsters. His burrow was perfect, but it felt a little bit lonely. One morning, as Squeak nervously peeked his nose out of the grass, he spotted a colossal, shaggy-haired creature lumbering toward him. A bear! Squeak froze, his heart thumping like a drum. The bear, Grizz, spotted the tiny mouse and sat down with a gentle thump that made the ground tremble. "Hello there, little one," Grizz rumbled, his voice like distant thunder. "What brings you to the edge of my woods?" Squeak squeaked. I, I just live here, and I'm afraid to go in. The forest looks so big and scary." Grizz let out a low, amused chuckle that sounded like leaves rustling. "Scary? Squeak, my friend, you're only seeing the whole picture from afar. Come with me, and I'll show you." Squeak hesitated, but Grizz's eyes were kind and his voice was so calming. Taking a deep breath, Squeak scurried out of the grass and onto Grizz's paw. Grizz gently lifted him and carried him into the woods. As they went deeper, Squeak saw that the dark shadows were actually tall, strong trees with sunlight filtering through their leaves like glitter. The tangled branches were a home for chattering squirrels and chittering birds. Grizz pointed with his nose to a tiny stream. "That's how the trees get their water, little Squeak," he said. "The water from the stream, the nutrients from the old leaves, the sunlight from the sky. They all work together to make the woods a perfect place." Squeak saw a family of deer drinking from the stream and a busy beaver building a lodge. The forest wasn't just a place, it was a living, breathing network of life. Grizz led him to a giant oak tree and pointed to a crack in its bark. A tiny caterpillar was munching on a leaf. "See that?" Grizz whispered. "He's just one tiny part of the forest, but he helps the whole tree stay healthy. And when he becomes a butterfly, he'll carry pollen from flower to flower." Squeak had never thought of it that way. He always saw the big trees as intimidating giants, not providers of homes and food. He saw a fox, who he'd always been afraid of, but Grizz explained that the fox kept the rodent population in check, which was an important job. "The forest is like a giant family, Squeak," Grizz explained. "Every animal, every plant, every single thing has a part to play. Even the smallest of us makes a big difference. The tiny spider who weaves a web, the ant who carries a crumb. It's all connected. The forest isn't scary. It's beautiful because everything works together." Squeak looked up from Grizz's warm paw. He saw a patch of wild mushrooms, a family of raccoons, and a wise old owl blinking down from a branch. He felt the soft moss under his feet and the cool, damp air on his face. The forest wasn't a monster. It was a home, full of friendly creatures doing their part. I see it now, Grizz, Squeak whispered. It's not scary at all. It's magnificent. Grizz gently placed Squeak back on the ground, now right inside the woods. The world is much less scary when you stop seeing it as just big and start looking for all the beautiful little parts that make it whole. And remember, the bravest journey is always the one you take with an open heart. As Grizz's giant paw began to fade, a ghostly wisp of light appeared in the last light of the day. Remember, he whispered, his voice a soft echo. Every step you take, every choice you make helps you find your own unique courage. And that's the end of this adventure, but a new one is always just around the corner. Subscribe to Storiella so you don't miss it.